Yo, yo. How's everybody doing? What's going on? Doing good, bro. Appreciate you asking. I want to do some analysis because I think now's a good time to do so while I got some time here. Um, Hope everyone's doing well. Just going to run through some things. So, first of all, I want to talk about BTC here. Well, I took this a little short here. Um, so, what had happened was this 1 day demand block that we have previously bounced off of has been playing as really this chop zone area that we've been trading in. Either we're trading below it or we're trying to trade above it, and we're seeing some weird price action happen from it. So that really just kind of enticed me to short around these highs over here. I think this was a good spot to do so after this volatility had ensued prior to CPI that had happened today. And we saw CPI it's looking like it was already priced in. Depending on this price action here is what's going to help us navigate with if we're going to sweep towards these lows or not. And I think that 107K is a good area to place your bets and to do so. And that's where I place my limits. That's where I want to target the rest of the short. I've already moved my stop loss up, and I've already taken half off the table just because I feel like any market entries are susceptible to getting targeted. So you'll be round tripping a lot if you're not taking profit, in my opinion, especially if you're marketing. And it's hard to set limits because these limits are either going to take a lot of time to fill or they're going to get blown through or left behind given the current state of the market. So I think this 111.8, 111.7 area is a good area to keep your eyes on. If we want to close the 1 day above in the next 8 hours before, into the weekend or something, that'll look super bullish. And, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but also how should it happen? That'd be a little weird if that happened before 107 gets tested. I like this flat candle low here on the 1 day as well that printed yesterday to get targeted for a sweep. And that's where I'm looking. I was pretty much just playing the Monday range this week. I think it was a good playbook to do so, especially it being so tight. And it's even still being respected today. So that was pretty good confidence as well. It was timing in those shorts with that Monday high sweep. So that's pretty much how I feel about BTC here, guys. I want to see what happens intraday. I want to see how things progress. I have my limit order set around that 107 level. And that's pretty much where I'm looking right now when it comes to the intraday. The more macro outlook of things, so the more higher time frame leading into the end of the year. I spoke about it in the last, but I think it's good that we do this every week, sort of reflect and update back. I know how long these chop zones can really last, and I know how compressed they can get. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see something where we just chop down lower into this range slowly. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that. And I think anywhere around here is a good place to look for high convicted bets. So if you're super bullish on a specific altcoin, I think if we start to retest near these lows, then this is a good time to start to look to scoop up some of those alts that you're interested in. Especially the time of accumulation that we'll see on BTC here. I think that we'll have some time on alts to start accumulating some good projects, depending on which ones you like. Whether that be XRP or some new coin that came on the block. I'll be looking to scoop up Trump coin because I think that Trump is going to figure out some way to pump his coin. And I'll time that in with a test on BTC toward these lower end of the wicks. I was looking at some coins, and it's hard for me to place my higher convicted sort of entries, and I just mean like higher position sort of things. On these alts because these wicks were crazy that happened on a lot of these alts. And I was just scanning through the indexes and looking at the retests that have happened and how we look on the 1 week. And total, as in crypto market cap, is putting in a support flip. And majority of these alts had crazy wicks down. So these wicks might get retested even if it's halfway through. And I think that would be a good time to start bidding. heavy. Right now, you give yourself a lot of room to be underwater if you're starting to enter full positions on spot. And I think it would be good to time your bets with BTC potentially testing lower. As for intraday, just scalping as usual. Just taking profit and not letting things get left behind. What's up, Thor? How you doing, bro? And I drew this chart out on spot. Obviously, last time we were on stream, we drew this. This scenario played out. I'm not in it. I didn't expect it to happen like that. I didn't expect that wick to retest so deep. But if you looked at my previous video on demand blocks, you saw how I treat them as order blocks thereafter. This one really had the most perfect sort of price action you could see from it. Granted, we did try to accept above it for a day. So people tried to get long there and they were blown out pretty much. We did put in a second bearish retest at that level. So me shorting here with my invalidation at around these highs made sense, because if we were going to start to push up, we should just look to take out this wick. And I think we could get a better entry to do that, which is, again, why I'm looking towards the low end of this level. If this happens before the weekend closes, that would be good. I don't remember the last time we saw a weekend pump for continuation, or a weekend pump that led to continuation. So I will be looking to fade anything that comes into this area over here, even slightly above it. So to the higher end, like 114.8, I'd be looking to fade this box. I think this is your midline. Anywhere above that should just keep taking us higher towards this supply level here. For ETH, I drew out this scenario. It pretty much played around this level for quite some time. We did put 2 retests into the box. 1 for 10, 1 for 8. So we're still compressing, we're still consolidating. When I take a look at total, and total 2, how I was just speaking about, these are pretty much at their highs, or closer to their highs than their lows, and they're putting in support flips, or attempting to, I should say. ETH is really one of the only alts that reflects that chart, because it's so close to the highs. And if we were to fall lower, it wouldn't look as bad as a lot of these other alts look. A lot of these alts look shitty. And SOL, coincidentally enough, is not one of them. I don't think SOL looks as shitty as a lot of these other alts look. Like XRP has a giant wick. And if XRP wanted to drop down to the middle end of this wick, you're down 25% in your position. I took this long on XRP, though, yesterday. I really liked this level that it was playing in, and it played out to perfection. Beautiful intraday plays right there, beautiful little swings. I see levels of demand, but I'm not interested in bidding them. When these levels of demand are so close to the opens, I tend to either think that we're going to go higher towards liquidity first before even looking to go lower. So I wouldn't be surprised if XRP wanted to take liquidity to the upside first before rejecting and going down, accepting within the block again for the lows. So I'd be looking for scenarios like that. Again, I really just want 107K retested on BTC before I do anything as far as a swing goes. So any type of scalps I can see, I'll just play. Gonna take a look at BTCD as well. I think it's a good chart to look at right now. We drew the scenario up a long time ago, a couple weeks back. I think in like a couple months back. Yeah, like August. I drew up this scenario, and it took a while to play out, but it finally happened, and it happened on a pretty extensive and volatile wick upwards. So we're just grinding up toward that level. I think eventually this wick is going to retest, and I think it's going to take the highs of it as well. So I'm just looking for that and what reaction ensues from that as far as alts go. Alts are obviously just not moving, and they're not really doing too much. We are getting moves when BTC holds. That's why it's important to see what BTC does. if you are playing alts, and if you're playing alts, you want to play alts that have liquidity. You don't want to play liquid shit coins. We saw the 1-day demand level hold on BTC after it just chopping around and slicing down below. And coins like Hype had a good reaction. But then you could see coins like Aster really didn't, have too much happen. XRP had a good reaction. I'm sure other coins had a good reaction too. But these are the coins that you'd want to see hold with BTC. So I'll be looking to play Hype on a pullback. I'll be looking to just play ETH. That's really what I tend to do, is play alts that I'm familiar with, coins that I like trading, coins that make sense to me to trade right now. I think that's what you should be doing. And another coin that comes to mind is BNB coin. I drew this up as well. It played out, tapped the box, and we didn't get a flip of it. So now I'll be looking for a deviation below the Monday low. Somewhere within this blue box is where I'm looking to bid BNB. I'm making a video on CZ and BNB right after this video or stream. So I'll be going a little bit more in depth on BNB. But I do think there's opportunity around here. And I think if you're patient, you get it. That's what it always shows, this coin. This coin always shows patient traders rewards, even if they do get sliced through a little bit. So I'll be waiting for that. Hype, I drew this 28-20 scenario. I don't know if this happens, so I'll be looking towards the low end of this box at around $32. If that happens, I'll tie that in with BTC potentially retesting lower at around 100K. That's pretty much what I wanted to go through, guys. Give you a little bit of what I'm thinking. Not too much there leading into the weekend. We had CPI already happen. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a pump and then a dump down to 170K. That wouldn't surprise me, but I do want to be patient. I'm already stops break even on my short that I took today, and I will have this video posted up for you guys shortly. Thank you guys for stopping by last minute. Peace, guys.